Hi, good evening. I hope everybody is doing good. It's been a day that's been sort of harsh for me, and lots of tears because I'm facing the accumulation of years of something I've been avoiding. I was always waiting for to be stress-free so that I could look at it, and I've not been afforded stress-free, so I never looked at it. But since moving to this house, I have felt less stress than I have in many years, and so I started looking at some spreadsheets and some of the fallouts from accepting help from people, and just struggling with my own personal responsibility of why didn't I look at things sooner, and struggling with people being too nice and helping me when clearly I should not have been helped, because now I am in a very uncomfortable spot, and a lot of things are making a lot of sense, like why there's been strained relationships, for instance. And I'm thinking, God, why didn't somebody put a stop to it? It's not like I have not had money. I've had large chunks of money from investments for over the last year come and go, and I've reinvested, and I bought into a house. There's been money, and I've been sort of finding myself in a way, what industry I want to be in, and just the high stress levels were not allowing me to super, I guess, do the job that I know I can, because I'm very smart and I'm very hardworking, and I never felt like I had any breathing room, to focus. But God, had I have known what I know now, I just would have done it. It just would have worked 8 hours a day, like a normal person, and probably had some wine, or ate junk food, or did things like that people do to suppress stress rather than letting it run my life. And I have to say that it's just been a series of terrible decisions, which no adult I wouldn't have made these decisions that I made. Had I known what I know today, this morning, I never would have done these things. And I'm thinking, God, I trusted people around me, and I didn't question things because I wasn't focused on numbers. And it's perfect timing for me to be going through this, because I just watched all of the money series on Netflix, about understanding money and smart money and the rich life. And so, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely being hard on myself. I think I'm an effing idiot, and I feel guilty and shame, and oh my God, I said, tears. But also, I feel a bit of relief, because I acted the same way every broke person acts, and I lived all of my entire life, I lived broke, feast or famine, broke, and then I'd have a car accident and then get an infusion of cash and spend it, and live like there's no tomorrow, a total lottery mindset. And it's bizarre, because I have a high risk tolerance, I have money, I'm relaxed, but I don't have the money to have that risk level. But now I'm unwinding where that came from, and it just came from a normalization, and then a trauma net that's been thrown over my childhood and teen years, my adult years, so that I literally forget. I forget completely how much I borrowed, what I spent it on, when I borrowed, when I was supposed to pay. It's just gone. For instance, there was on the spreadsheet, it was said I borrowed $5,000 US, and then 4 days later, I borrowed 3,000 US, and I'm thinking, I live in Mexico. I don't go out. I don't live an extravagant life. I've not had any hotels here. I haven't done like anything touristy. I have not gone on any whale watching tours, rhythms of the night, quadding, zip lining. And I'm thinking, how the hell did I blow through $8,000? Like, that is impossible. I must have flowed it back through something. And then like somebody reminded me that I went to an investment event, you know, thinking that I could network and secure a job with the company because I had been working with them before. So I thought if I showed up and took that initiative and went and blended and wore nice things and presented myself in a good manner, like, you know, all the law of attraction things and all of the think it and you get it, those kinds of spiritual things. I gotta say, like, my spiritual background has led me to a lot of this behavior too, as well as, you know, parents' relationships, etc. But anyways, I was like, oh my God, I did. And it was expensive. It was 4 seasons. It was $80 dinners. It was $2,700 for the flight because it was on the Caribbean, and I'm in Puerto Vallarta, so that was, you know, transferring in the States, spending the night in hotels, like, etc. So I didn't forget I went to the event, but I forgot that I borrowed the money to go to the event. And then when I saw the bill, I'm like, what happened? So this is very impossible to understand. I totally know. Like, if you're a responsible, business-minded, money-minded person, it must just be so bizarre. Like, how can I be that out of touch? But I'm gonna say, like, a lot of the people on the reality shows on The Rich Life that I just watched are the same. They are in debt. They do not have any money coming in or enough money to cover their bills, and they just don't look at them. They just feel shame and depression and worthless. And a lot of the women or gay couples, one of them was saying they wanted to pull their own weight in their relationship and they felt guilt and like extra pressure on the one that's covering for them. Like, they're not an adult, they can't carry their own weight. Like, they want to be, so they're stubborn and won't take the help they need to get out of the debt, and so then they just ignore everything. So I mean, really, you have to have experienced the trauma to understand the mindset, and it is like loud and clear right now. It is crazy. And you know, I sold my business like I shared, and I had a large sum of money, and I put that money in investments with the company I worked with. And so I knew them, I trusted them, I felt comfortable in the sphere. I've been working in it for a couple of years while I was doing my degree, and fairly comfortable level of competence with the markets. And you know, the investment did what it said it was going to do for the first 6 months. And so, you know, like, these people that had lent me money that I know were like, well, you know, you thought that your investments were sound, and so we just kept lending you money because that money was going to come eventually. And I mean, that's what happened. The investment just stopped paying, but we got promises that it was going to pay, like, every couple months. I was sure to God that that money was coming. And so I lived in this like fragmented reality where I just couldn't take a different action because I thought the action I was taking was eventually going to be okay. So that's what has led to like the complete freaking dumpster fire that I'm living in right now. Like, it's painful, and I did it. And I know that I have to process, you know, this in a way where I don't end up like, you know, pointing a gun at my head because I'm so terrible. I need to let myself off the hook and still take responsibility, but be compassionate to myself because I'm not alone in this. And I've been brainwashed by this investment company to believe that it's gonna go back to these higher percents and these regular payments. And it was like a for sure, we've seen the money in the bank, this is happening by like January 1st to 15th, the first couple weeks of the month, and it didn't happen. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, we did see it in the bank, but there was like several different things and the bank paid out with some of them, but not ours because we need to do these things. And it's all very reasonable. And it sounds insane, like a scam, but these are very reasonable things that happen that could be true. But it's just one after the other makes you sound like you're completely being frauded. And it's so frustrating to people around me listening. Like, if anybody commented, I'm sure you'd beat the crap out of me and say like that I'm just a total idiot and for believing. But now I have just had like the final straw that broke the belief cycle, and I decided that I'm going to just get a job and make a payment plan and look at the numbers and move forward as if I'm never going to get a cent, as if everything's been lost, and build again. And it feels more healthy, and it feels like I'm finally going to be able to be a person that somebody can trust, because that is the problem when you're in a chain of delays, fraud, scams, reasonable delays, whatever you may choose to think about it. Your word is worth nothing, and it's hurtful because I'm so honest. I'm such a good person, an honest person, a kind, trusting person. And it hurts me when people don't believe me, but I get it, because I've been saying I've been gonna get this money for a year now and I still don't have it. So, you know, like any normal person, without all of this trauma net that they grew up swimming in, would be like, you're on glue, what is your problem? So anyhow, it was really cool watching those shows at the same time that I'm processing, looking through this, reached my inflection point of no longer being willing to wait any longer for the finances. And I have a job interview on 2 days for a small company, small wage, because I'm working remote. But I had a great idea of reaching out to other business owners that are in my industry and offering some online support, because I know that I struggled when I was in Canada to do everything for my metaphysical business. Like, it's impossible. You cannot do everything to the level that you want to do it at. You just do not have enough time. And often the things that you bought your store for, you're not doing because you're spending all your time like managing books or inventory or pricing or design or managing staff or working on the floor because your staff didn't show up or because there was cutbacks and you can't afford to have more people in. So I'd like to reach out to different metaphysical shop owners and apply my 15 years experience in my business to help them with some of their remote responsibilities. So I could help them with their online stores, I could help them with customer outreach, I could help them with sourcing new product lines, I could help them do some research of things trending on Twitter and Instagram that they might be able to bring into their shop that could be great sellers. Like, now I'm thinking, because I'm out of that loop, about what I can apply myself to that could bring me the money that I need to pay those debts down. Now that I know I have those debts too. Like, of course I knew that I kept borrowing money because I was waiting for my money to come, but I did not know the magnitude of it, because it was just like a few thousand peso here and here and here and here and here, and just cover your rent there, and I'll just take you out for dinner there, and it just is very out of control, and I'm really sad. I'm really, really sad. I feel really bad that things got to this level, and I really pray that the universe is going to come and support my new determination to get myself out of the mess that I got myself into, and will support me. And the more that I can turn towards the solution and what I want, I know that that vibration is going to match and come and support me. So if you happen to stumble upon this video and you own a metaphysical store, or you know metaphysical store owners, it is like a deep passion for me. I love it. I've imported things from China, from Nepal, from India, all over the States, Mexico. I'm close to Guadalajara, and a healer friend has crystal connections in Mexico City. Like she was saying, a giant box full of incense is like cheaper than I could have sourced them at home for one pack of 10. So yeah, so I don't know, maybe I can be of use in anything touching on products, pricing, marketing, design, advertising. I have a roster of amazing psychics if you want to promote and bring psychics in and get a commission from that. Like, the world is so different now because of remote capabilities. And like YouTube's got the lives. Like, wouldn't that be fun to do like some YouTube lives of different metaphysical store owners chatting about their hopes, their dreams, their services, their favorite customers, like things that they wish that they could do, some of the hugest transformations that people have shared with them, you know, some of the crazier like sad things too. Like, I had a couple girls come in one time that said like, "You're never gonna believe me, this is crazy." And I said, "Oh yeah, of all people, I will believe you. I hear crazy every day." And they rented a place in the Comox Valley, and it was haunted, and they had creepy, scary ghost things like drawing weird symbols on the fog on the windows at night and scraping, and they moved. I was like, oh, they were in to look for some sage so that they could like smudge the house. And I was like, I think that's beyond sage. I mean, I want to sell you some sage, but you need this lady. So yeah, I sent a professional in to help them clear the place, and they did move, because what the woman found, that it was, you know, on a burial plot and was going to be constantly a portal of spiritual activity, and these girls didn't need that in their life. It wasn't part of their mission, so they moved. But yeah, there's just I'm open to think about different ways of bringing in some finances, so that I'm no longer in limbo and waiting for some magical date in the future where things are going to be okay. So see you later. Have a good night, and that's it.